I'm Nina. I'm doing a series of mini tutorials on understanding qualities of the characters of the tarot and currently on the major arcana, the first 22 cards of the tarot deck. I recommend that you reference or buy the Rider-Waite Smith deck. It is generally the preferred and easiest deck to understand if you're interested in learning the tarot. I wanted to explain and dispel certain myths that come up about the tarot that might be helpful. You are not allowed to buy your first tarot deck. This is not true, nor does it make much sense. How else would you learn how to read the tarot if you don't buy your own deck? People don't necessarily know if you have an interest. Taking the initiative is key if you want to move forward with learning. Different decks have their own ways of conveying messages or personality through the artwork on the cards. Being drawn to a particular deck may give you, the reader, the confidence and opportunity to do great readings because of your attraction to that deck. So please understand that you don't have to wait for someone to buy you a deck. The cards are used for divining and a tool of guidance. The goal is to steer a client or yourself in the right direction. I always use positive qualities of the story I'm seeing so that the client may make the absolute best decision for themselves. The story of the woodcutter was obvious and allows you to understand why the High Priestess is important in your journey through life. She's there to help you find the answers within yourself. She's there to remind you that intention cannot function without observation. I'm going to give you 3 examples on how to answer questions when the High Priestess shows up in a reading and ways to respond. In these examples, I will be doing a 1-card reading, using just 1 card for the sake of simplicity and understanding. Keep in mind that the visuals on the cards also convey a message that can give some additional information. Question number 1. My marriage is going through a turbulent time. Lately, I don't know what to do. If it's even going to work out. Not sure if it's even worth trying marriage counseling or not. Here's how I'd answer. You should really take the time to think about the things that are working in your marriage. Weigh out the good versus the bad. Do some soul searching. Think about whether you feel there's enough there worth saving. Don't make any hasty decisions. I think marriage counseling is a good idea because it'll give you some more perspective on the issues and will help you make the best decision for yourself. Ultimately, you are the best judge of what's right for you. Give it some careful consideration before you do anything. So here once again, I leave the burden of choice on the client in a very sensitive situation. You never want the client to feel worse or make a decision based on your absolute opinion, but to choose for themselves. Here the High Priestess suggests reflection on the marriage. Counseling will further aid in that inner guidance. Clients will tell you about their personal lives and ask about any and everything. You want to be careful and responsible when making suggestions to your clients. There's an unsaid bond of trust between you and them. Always use discretion if you want to maintain that trust. So on to question number 2. My job wants to send me to school, but I'm not really interested. I have the option to say no, and I'm content with what I'm doing already. Here's how I'd answer. I understand that, but it does appear that your company values you as an employee and feels you're worthy of this opportunity. Why wouldn't you take it or at least think about it? Your company is paying for it. It'll break up the monotony of work, and you will acquire new skills, and that in turn may help you advance in your company or the next one. You should really take the time to think about the many opportunities this may afford you before you even say no. So here, I point out the positives and what he didn't think through and attempt to persuade him to better consider the opportunity. I made a strong suggestion here simply because it's a positive situation overall and would be helpful to the client because he himself didn't seem to see that. Here the High Priestess suggests that he do some reasoning on his own. So on to question number 3. I've been wanting to do this all my life and finally decided to pursue my dream of writing a book. I'm so excited about it, but my fiancé doesn't seem to support this idea. Here's how I'd answer. If you have personal days, I'd take a few days off and really think it through before you do anything. Consider how it will affect your life and possibly your relationship. You will always know what's best for you above anything. I understand your disappointment with your fiancé's lack of encouragement, but always be completely honest with yourself first. This lifelong dream isn't about your relationship, but it can affect it, and you need to consider that. Honor your heart and soul. Really think it through. You'll know when it's time to have a discussion. The High Priestess shows us that he should give it more time to think it through. He should consider all the variables and how it will affect his life in the long run. If he's honest with himself, he'll know how to proceed in his life and with his relationship. In this situation, being hasty will not help him make the best decision. He needs to give himself time to understand how to best move forward. It is only when we're silent that the blaring sounds of our daily existence that we can finally hear the whispers of truth that life reveals to us as it stands knocking on the doorsteps of our hearts. A quiet mind is able to hear intuition over fear. The High Priestess, in her quiet wisdom, helps you to connect to your inner truth so that you may actualize your soul's unique path, whatever that may be. She eludes us because she's always alone, quiet in her own thoughts, and knows things that we don't. She's an intuitive, a lady of mystery. We'd like to know what she knows. We'd like to know what she's thinking, but she is silent and keeps her thoughts to herself. She's a lady of the moonlight, a lady of mystery. Eventually, we find our own truth if we give ourselves enough time. I say she's elusive because it takes time to fully understand her. I'm still getting to know her. I hope I was successful and gave you some idea of who she is and what her purpose is in your own life. You cannot have the answers or move forward without knowing yourself. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. As I've shown you, there are various ways to answering questions when getting the High Priestess. Your instincts and intuition play a role when reading the cards. Often just understanding the story in the cards is enough. As far as tarot goes, I always say you can opt to take a course or get a book if you want to dive deeper. For me, the basics always suffice when doing my readings, but everyone is different and some people need more. Do what works for you and let me know what your thoughts are on this lady, the High Priestess. I did want to end by saying that in today's world, life is already complicated and filled with complexities, but tarot doesn't have to be. When teaching, I like to keep things short, simple, and easy to understand. Please comment your thoughts down below if you like this video. Please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. If you're interested in a personal reading, you can email me at ninalove@email.com. I'll leave a link for that down below. Thank you so much for watching.